I'm going to make a video. And I don't know how long this video is going to be. I would like to make one that's about at least 10 minutes long, but it probably is going to be shorter than that. My video is just basically about this issue of promises. You know, I think about this whole thing about the religion issue. And it's not about God. And it's not about, is there a God, is there not a God? Is it silly for people to believe in some invisible man in the sky or whatever, this flying spaghetti monster, you name it, whatever. And it doesn't matter about the atheist thing, where the atheists are going to go through this and God is going to punish them for that and whatever. All this stuff don't even matter. It all comes down to promises. You know, one thing that's true in life is I've had many a time where people have promised me things. And you know, one thing about both sides, religious and non-religious, is it's all about promises. People promise you in one form or another, and people can say anything they want about this. But the bottom line is, in one form or another, people are promising things. That if you follow our way, you're going to be happier. That's all it comes down to. If you don't believe in God, you're going to be happier. If you do believe in God, you're going to be happier. If you become this type of religious person, you're going to be happy. If you become that kind of religious person, you know, it's all a bunch of promises. You know, it's kind of like car dealers telling you that if you buy this car, you're going to have a great driving experience. They all tell you that. Each and every one of them going to tell you that. We all promise things. Everybody's going to promise because everybody's trying to sell an ideal. That's what it comes down to. Everybody's selling a point of view. They're selling a philosophy and they're selling an ideal. They're promising things. You know, I don't promise anything because I don't know. You know, I'm sort of like an experimenter in life. My life is like one big gigantic experiment. I don't know what's going to happen in the long run. And I can't tell you what to do. You do whatever you want to do. You do whatever you want to do and you live your life as you see fit to live it. You know, but one thing I do is I make the most out of every moment I get and I try to enjoy everything I have. See, I'm not interested in promises. You know, I got tired of the Jehovah's Witnesses because I get tired of their promises. I think I could look at the thing of the blood transfusion stuff and the this and that. You know, yeah, those were big things, but it wasn't though that one thing, the blood transfusion thing, which is a big thing on my mind because I'm thinking about this article I read about this woman who died because she didn't take a blood transfusion. You know, I consider that an act of suicide. They would say that they're against suicide. But you know what? If you refuse medical treatment that can save your life, and you know it can save your life, you committed suicide. And if you want to talk about things being a sin, what, isn't that a sin? You know, so you commit one sin in order to another, which I'm not going to get into all that. But what is important is this. Promises. A religion promises things. You know, I want to talk about the Jehovah's Witnesses, but I'm not really picking on them. Because I think if I were in any other religion, I'd probably be picking on that too. That's the truth. You know, if I was a Catholic, I'd probably be pointing out the inconsistencies. Because that's what the problem is. When you're in a religion, you see inconsistencies. And no one within the religion can answer those inconsistencies. No one can do it. Because the thing I mentioned about the woman dying, that's an inconsistency. It's wrong to commit suicide. They would tell you that. Oh, no, you can't do that. You'll be condemned. But yet you refuse medical treatment that can save your life because the religion says that you have to do this. You're refusing medical treatment, that's committing suicide. If doctors told me, look, Philip, you're sick, but if we give you this treatment, you'll be well again. And we just need you to sign this consent form. And I say, no, I can't do it. Because it's against my religion. Well, then I'm committing suicide. I don't care what else. People can argue that any other way they want to. But that's what you're doing. You're committing suicide. And then that contradicts another part of your religion. How do you reconcile that? But whatever. I'm not here to argue that. The point is, again, about promises. Religions promise. They promise. And even atheism promises. And I know a lot of atheists are going to get angry at me for that. But I'm going to say it because atheism is promising that if you stop being religious, you'll be happy. And religion tells you if you be religious, you'll be happy. So life is a bunch of promises. And sometimes I think in life, I'm sick of promises. You know, in my other job, and even in the job I'm at now, but I think about a couple of jobs back, I was the kind of person who would come to work and I bought coffee for my coworkers. I would actually I supplied a coffee pot and I would buy the coffee. I told people, no, they don't have to give any money on it. I'm doing it. This comes from my own desire to be generous. And so I supplied coffee. I didn't promise it to them. I didn't even promise I would continue to do it. I'd do it as long as I could. And I kept doing it until they finally transferred me to another department. But I kept bringing the coffee, you know. And I kept bringing the candy. I would bring candy, like have a little dish filled with candy. And I did that every day. Money out of my own pocket. You know, I kind of think I have spent literally probably maybe a couple of $1,000s over the years. You know, buying things and supplying things and keeping things. But I did it and I have no regrets. Because I loved doing that. I really enjoyed what I was doing. But what was important was I never promised I would do those things. I just did them. See, to me, what's important in life is doing things, not promising things. Don't promise. Don't promise that you're going to treat me to lunch for my birthday. Don't promise that you're going to take me to a movie. Don't promise you're going to get me a new car. Because I try not to promise those things. You know, sometime in life you have to promise things like to a bank, otherwise they're going to take your house. I promise I'll pay back this loan, and then you pay it back. I mean, I can't say you can cut out all promises, but I try to keep the promises to a minimum. And I try to keep my actions to a maximum. See, I try to do things instead of promising. So really the key thing with any religion is, what are they doing? Or any point of view, if you want to call the other thing a point of view. What are they giving you? Because everybody's got to either give or just be quiet. It's like a car company, if they say, look, you're going to have a great driving experience with this car. And you get in that car, and it is a great driving experience. You enjoy it. The car accelerates well, it does well, it brakes well, it does. You know, then they deliver it on a promise. Now, is it better than others? That's a matter of subjective view, you know. It's also a matter of what you feel, because I've never really been a big fan of cars that had to go a zillion miles an hour, you know. But still, you know, they deliver. It's like the computers that I use. I have a computer, you know, and it works well. It serves me well. It boots up quickly. It does what it has to do. It delivers on a promise. This camera that I'm using, it works very well. It delivers, you know. It doesn't have to be the best of the best of the best, but it's the best that I can afford, and it works quite well, and I'm satisfied. It delivers. You don't have to be perfect. It's just like people. My friends don't have to be movie stars. They don't have to be Hollywood celebrities. They're giving their best. The only thing I don't like, though, is promises. Don't promise me things, please. I just try to tell people to keep your promises. You don't have to promise. Just be yourself. And just do and take action. Always remember, doing something is better than promising. Instead of promising to be nice to people, be nice. Instead of promising to help out, help. Instead of promising to wash the dishes, wash the dishes. Pick up a towel, wash the dishes. Don't promise to do it. See, I don't promise I'm going to make a video. I make them. You know, at first I was afraid to make videos on YouTube. But for 2 years I had an account before I put up my first video. And I used to keep thinking, well, maybe I should put up a video. Maybe I should do it. And then I said, forget the promises. Let me just do it. Even if I sound silly and even if I get criticized, just keep doing it. So don't promise things. Forget about the promises. And let's get going with the action.